Hey, what's up guys? MGH here. Welcome back to another FIFA 18 video that I captured at the EA Capture event. Again, a massive thank you to them for having me out. It was awesome to play FIFA 18 early, and this video is pretty special. I've put all of the best young players in career mode into one team. I decided to go with Man City. I don't really know why. They already had a couple of the players already in the squad. It was just easiest, I guess. I was kind of time restricted, so I wanted to make sure I could get as much done as I could in that day. But one thing I really wanted to do while I was there was do a career mode where I simulate 3 seasons and see where these players are. So you can see I've got a lot of great players. Pulisic is there, Rabiot, Marquinhos, these guys on the bench for Christ's sake, on the reserves. So yeah, the team was rather incredible. And just see where it goes. You know, every single year we all want to know which players have the best potential, which players grow the fastest, and I really wanted to find out. So actually, I noticed I simulated the first season, and one of my best players, Donnarumma, needed a new contract already. So that, I don't know if it's a bug, but that's been around in FIFA for a while. If you manually put a player on a squad, sometimes their contract is 1 year, sometimes it's 4 years. It's a little bit random, so I quickly gave him a new contract. So you can see the negotiations here, which I've sped up a little bit. Unfortunately, Donnarumma does not have his face either, which is a bit of a shame. But we had to pay him a little bit more as he'd already grown by a little bit. This is the new squad report screen. It's the attributes tab in the squad hub. So you can see Donnarumma went up by 3. We've got a few players out on loan, which I couldn't change, of course. But Lafont went up by 2. Bellerin went up by 2 as well. We had Henriks. I decided to go with him because he's a right back and a left back, which can be really handy. He went up by 2. Bailly, one of the best defenders I used on the day, has gone up by 1. We've also got Christensen in the team as well. I think he's going to have a good year. He went up by 1. Zuma up by 2. Marquinhos up by 1. Malang Sarr I was a little bit disappointed with. I'll talk about him later. He only went up by 1 in the first season. +2 for Diop, +1 for Jonathan Tah, +2 for Grimaldo, the ex-Barcelona left-back, now at Benfica, I believe. Theo Hernandez, new signing at Madrid, went up by 2. Ousmane Dembele up by 2. Silva up by 2, already at Man City, of course. Bernardeschi up by 2. Pulisic up by 2. We have a bunch of other players that are still out on loan. Rabiot went up by 2. Sanchez went up by 2. Sal went up by 2. You can see a little bit of a pattern here. Tielemans went up by 2 as well. Tolisso up by 2. Lamar up by 2. Martial has gone up by 1. He was unbelievable, by the way. Unreal. So good. Halilovic up by 2 there. Another player out on loan. Asensio, I think he's going to have the highest potential in the game, potentially. He's gone up by 2. I just realised what I said there. The highest potential, potentially. Again, though, the pattern seems to be repeating itself here. Every single player is going up by 1, 2, or 3. I haven't had a +4 so far. Mbappe up by 1. Sane up by 1. And that was the first season. Interestingly enough as well, we managed to finish in 2nd place, which isn't too bad, considering the squad is very young, and I would say an average rating of probably around 81, I would say, something like that. I wasn't expecting to see, finishing in third. 2nd would have been a little bit better, but Leicester beat us to it by 1 point. So I was actually very surprised. I wasn't expecting that at all. So now we move on into Season 2. We're going to go ahead and repeat the process again, or process, sorry. You can see the team I went with is a 4-3-3 with some of the best players in the game and already starting to grow really nicely. A bunch of players that were out on loan have come back, so I decided to sell as many of those as I could. But obviously it's impossible to sell every single player, which is a bit of a shame. And now we're going to go ahead and simulate the whole season. Now, one thing about simulating via the calendar, it seems extremely slow this year. I don't know if it's because there's more cutscenes and more breaking news and things like that going on. But it just felt like it took an eternity. I felt like I was sitting at this event for like an hour at least recording this video, which I wasn't expecting. So if you're looking to do these kind of career modes where you simulate lots of seasons, prepare to sit there for quite a while. It did take some time. We also had the problem of players that needed to extend their contracts. So I had Rabiot, Mbappe, a bunch of players that I needed to update. Rabiot, for example, wanted 120,000 per week, which is quite a lot of money. But there's a few players that still needed a contract, but I was happy to let them go. Players like Joe Hart, not too bothered. So now we go into the squad report at the end of Season 2. Donnarumma's gone up by 3 again. Lafont up by 3. Maffio's gone up by 3, even though we're not going to use him. Bellerin up by 3, up to 86 rated. Look at his pace there, unbelievable. Henrik's up by 2. Zuma's gone up by 1. I don't think he's going to be as good this year as he has been in previous years. Marquinhos up by 2 there. Jonathan Tah, a very good choice, was injured for quite a lot of this season though. He's only gone up by 1. Diop has gone up by 2. I think he's going to be immense this year again. Malang Sarr, not Slar, sorry. He's gone up as well by 2. Eric Bailly up by 1, up to 86 rated. He's just a monster. Christensen up by 2. Umtiti up by 1. I was hoping he would grow a little bit quicker, but maybe not. Grimaldo went up by 3 that season. Pace 92. Oh man, he's so good. Theo Hernandez, very physical player, up to 79 by the end of Season 2, which isn't too bad. Bernardo Silva was one of the highest growers actually in the end. Bit of a spoiler, but he went up to 88 after Season 2. Bernadeschi went up to 86. Dembele up to 87 with his 5-star. Very nice indeed. Pulisic, 83, up by 2. Tielemans up by 2 as well. Saul up by 2. Again, you're seeing the same pattern. It only seems to be up by 1, 2 or 3. Whereas in previous FIFAs, maybe it's just me, but from my experience, players used to grow sometimes by 5, maybe even 6. I should say, though, I did not use training at all. So as we continue to look at these players, all of it is just simulated stats. It's not going to be training or playing games. But I've done this before in previous FIFAs, and players still seem to grow up by 4, maybe even 5 sometimes. So maybe they've reined that in a bit. Maybe they've reduced it just a little bit to make it a little bit more, semi-realistic. Because, seeing 19-year-olds that get to 90 rated, it's just not quite that realistic, is it? Mbappe went up by 2 to 87 in Season 2. He's so good in FIFA 18. Really good. Jesus as well, very good. Shame he hasn't got 5-star skills. That would have been nice. Sane, very good, very quick, of course. And that rounds up Season 2. So I forgot to show you the league table in Season 2. So I went up into Season 3 and had a look. And we actually won the title. So you can see there, we've won the league once and the domestic cup once as well. So we did manage to win the Premier League in Season 2. Unbelievable. But then again, most of my players jumped up to around 85 plus in the first team. So you can kind of expect it. That's the kind of ratings you get in a Premier League title winning team. So in the third season now, and I noticed when we got to May, I was in the Champions League really late on, and that was the semi-finals against Bayern. At this point I thought, no, they haven't knocked me out. I want to play the Champions League final. But then I saw a little red microphone icon at the bottom, and I knew that means we are in the Champions League final, and it's against Chelsea. So not only have we won the Premier League by Season 2, we've now got a chance to finish off Season 3 with a win in the Champions League. So I had to play this game against Man City. Here you can see some of the pre-game cutscenes and all the new atmosphere and stuff like that. Of course, still no Champions League licence, so it's still the Champions Cup, but doesn't really matter at all, does it? There's Conte. Chelsea would have had a very strong squad going into this game, so I was quite nervous. But actually, I was looking at it, it was okay. They've gone with the French two in midfield, Kante and Bakayoko. They've got Vasquez from Real Madrid on the right, Hazard still playing on the left there, but a pretty weak defence. Callas going in there. Or Callas, I'm not sure how you pronounce that one. They also signed Florenzi at right wing back, which I thought was interesting. That's definitely a great signing for them. But I went with my strongest team. The only problem is Mbappe was injured. He just got injured a week or two before in training. So I had to go with Jesus up front, which wasn't an issue. Just look at that team though. It's really, really strong. And I went into this game knowing that, if I could win this match, I would have won pretty much everything within just 3 seasons with this young team, with an average age of probably around 21, 22, probably less actually. So I really did want to win this game, and we got off to an absolute cracking start here. Dele Alli, very, very, very good. He's an all-rounder. He's great defensively as well as going forward, and he actually gets in a great position to score here, and he smacks it across goal. And look at that, within 14 minutes, we're 1-0 up against Chelsea, and it's Dele Alli to score the goal. And I had Asensio next to him, it was the partnership of dreams. It really was. 2 very great players going forward. And Dele Alli did some defensive work as well when Tolisso got forward, for example. Tolisso, man, what a player in this game as well. He seems to have lost a little bit of pace in this game. He doesn't grow in his pace so quick. But one thing he did have, and you're probably going to think this is really silly, he had 99 finishing. Tolisso, after 3 seasons, had 99 finishing. Does not make sense at all. But we do concede 25 minutes in. Bakayoko, the new signing for Chelsea, he's going to have a great season, I'm sure. He's just built for the Premier League. He's a bit of a tank, and I'm pretty sure he will score a couple of goals for Chelsea. He's already scored 1 in the Champions League game they had. But look at this terrible defending. Kind of gives you a little glimpse of how bad I am at defending in this game. It's much tougher this year. It really is. It's much more manual. The CPU do not make tackles for you. And although I think it's a great idea, it definitely took me pretty much the whole day at the capture event to get used to the defending. But luckily enough, I felt like I was good going forward. I think FIFA 18 genuinely has the best gameplay I've played so far. I was able to play some really nice attacking fluid football. Whereas in previous FIFAs, it always took me a couple of weeks when the game first came out. This game, I got right into it. I really did. It was just the defending that I really struggled with. And unfortunately, another chance goes amiss there. And we're going to go into half-time 1-1, which isn't too bad, to be fair. Asensio picks it up. And talking of Asensio, he missed the game with Real Madrid the other day because he had an infected spot on his leg. I mean, what is that? He couldn't pull his socks up because he'd shaved his leg and it got infected. A spot on his leg. I thought that was hilarious. So now into the second half. Really wanted to win this game in the game. I didn't want to go to extra time or penalties just because I was trying to record so many different bits of videos. And this is a hell of a run. We go inside there and couldn't quite get the pass. I brought Saul on in this second half. And also brought on Bernardo Silva and Sane, I think it was. No, Lamar. I brought on Lamar. But Bernardo Silva, I already mentioned how he was one of the fastest growers in the team. He, for me, was the star man. I played, obviously, only just the 1 game, but when I stopped recording, I played a couple of games with this team, and Bernardo Silva is just amazing. He really is. Saul as well, very good. Even at CDM, you put Saul in there, he wins the ball, and he's great going forward. But yeah, for me, it was all about Bernardo Silva. You're going to see I get him on the ball here. A pass from Asensio. Little scoop, hit it with his weaker foot into the bottom right corner, and is that going to be the winning goal for the Champions League? That would be amazing. Great celebration there, doing like a cartwheel on his side. But you'll see the finish here probably wasn't going to be going in if it didn't take a deflection off Marcos Alonso. So you could say it was a little bit lucky. But honestly, after playing a few games after this match, I just found that Bernardo Silva was better than Ousmane Dembele. He was better than Martial, better than Lamar. Lamar was impressive, but he doesn't have any skill moves really. He's only a 2-star skiller, which is a little bit of a shame. He whips in a great cross there for Jesus, who really should have buried the game, making it 3-1, but unfortunately not. We then get a cross in from Dele Alli, which gets headed by Titi, I believe it was, but no goal again. Lovely ball over the top for Bernardo Silva here into the 90th minute, but the touch lets him down. Are Chelsea going to get on one last break and potentially ruin the last few minutes of the game? Here is Eden Hazard, 90 rated in FIFA 18, and Bailly. He is so good at centre-back. There is not a better centre-back in the game, if you ask me. He wins the tackle and we win the Champions League. Just like that, guys, 3 seasons in, and we've already won the Champions League with this team. So, absolutely unbelievable. Really enjoyed playing that game with them, and that's why I wanted to play some more. So I've got some more videos about this squad so we can look into the player stats in more detail. There you can see some of the more, cool cutscenes that they've added to the game that you can actually see the fans rendered properly. And we also won the Premier League, which I thought was pretty cool. So we won the double. We didn't win the FA Cup, unfortunately, but we did win the League Cup. So I guess you could say it is a treble. You can see here we didn't even make it into round of 16 in the FA Cup. Not sure what happened there, but the League Cup, or the Carabao Cup, I should call it, we actually went on and won that one. So I guess it kind of is the treble. We did really well, but the one that really mattered the most was the Champions League, beating Chelsea in the final. So now let's go into one last final squad report. Donnarumma is 90 rated after 3 seasons. Lafont, 84. Not too bad at all. Hector Bellerin is 88 rated after 3 seasons. 99 pace. Unbelievably quick. Henriks was only 82. I was expecting to see him grow a little bit more, but really, really good player. Zuma only up to 84. I actually sold him after this recording here because I didn't think he was that great. Marquinhos up to 88. Jonathan Tah up to 85. Not too bad. Diop up to 81. And then Malang Sarr, who I'm still not too sure about in this game. He seemed a little bit too short for me. He went up to 80. So I'm not sure I'll go with Malang Sarr much in FIFA 18. Christensen went up by 1 in that final season to 85. But Bailly, the main man himself, 84 pace, 88 defending. I mean, come on, absolutely unreal. Titi up to 87. They were the partners. Grimaldo up to 87 as well. He's going to be the best left back in the game for me. And then we've got Theo Hernandez, who's probably in second place. Very, very good player, but took a little bit longer to grow. Bernadeschi went up to 87 as well. I think Juventus have got themselves a great young player there. Pulisic went up to 85. But Ousmane Dembele went up to 89, 98 pace, 94 dribbling. I love how they show the stats in the bottom right corner there, really nice. Bernardo Silva, though, like I said, was probably my favourite player in this squad. He finishes 90 rated. And then we've got Sanchez, Renato Sanchez, now at Swansea for the year, finishes at 83. Saul went to 90 as well, so I think he's going to be a great player for career mode. Tolisso up to 89. Look at that, 91 shooting. He had 99 finishing. It does not make sense. Rabiot went up to 86, which was a little bit disappointing for me. I was hoping to see him go a bit higher. Tielemans went up to 87 at the end of Season 3. Not too bad at all. A few players that we couldn't sell. Lamar made it to 89, which is actually more than Martial. Now remember, they're the same age. They're the same rating pretty much. So it's clear to me that Lamar has a better potential than Martial. Now, Asensio was the highest rated in the end, 91. I think his potential is going to be probably 93, maybe even 94. Dele Alli finished as a 90 rated cam. Unbelievable. Halilovic went up to 84. And you can see Raheem Sterling made it to 87. Now, Mbappe made it to 89. I think the injury might have hindered him a little bit, which is a bit of a shame. I think he probably would have been 90 like Jesus was. He is probably one of the best players as well, Jesus. Very, very good. Rashford finished at 86. Dolberg made it all the way up to 85. He looks like a great player again this year. And Leroy Sané made it to 87. So in general, every single player in this squad grew very, very well, and I was very pleased with the results at the end. But most importantly, it was great fun to see how these players get on after just 3 seasons. Can you imagine how good this squad would be after 4 or 5? I didn't get a chance to do it. I will definitely try again when the game comes out. I've got a feeling some of those players would hit maybe 93, 94, something like that. So some really great players, and players that I could have easily put in there that are still very young, like Dybala, for example, 88 rated as his normal rating. So imagine if I put them in. But in general, it was amazing to see how these players got on. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you're enjoying the FIFA 18 content, make sure you subscribe, guys. Leave a like on the video, and I will see you next time.